called The Optimist Journal.
Nice.
And my biggest thing was I have a horrible, self-promotion is like such a rough concept for me. And I write a lot about, you know, getting outside your comfort zone and generational learning. And I'm just so, what I am is a storyteller, and I want these stories passed down through generations because I wish someone would have done that for me.
Right.
And I feel like we can heal so many things if we tell those stories, right? And we learn from them, but when they don't get told, they kind of get buried under layers of terrible stuff, right? So that's kind of my background. My name's Wendy, by the way. And what I've come down to is it's not about being famous, it's about making your mark.
Right.
So what can you tell me about making your mark? Like, you know, what's the most fundamental thing you can tell me about making your mark?
Well, that's a very big question. So first, the most important thing is to make sure that the mark that you want to make is something that's really true to you, because it's going to be a lot harder than you think. And even though you're trying to help, the world is going to be resistant to your overtures. So it's got to be something that you're really passionate about. And the way that I tell people to frame it is, what would you do and love every day, even if you were failing? So if the journal is something that you would love putting it together and bringing these stories together and telling that story, even though it's brutally difficult to get it to market, then that's the perfect thing. The second thing is to make sure that the world actually wants what you're offering. So if the impact that you're trying to have is something nobody cares about, it's just going to be an insanely uphill battle. So you've got to pick something that, one, the world cares about, and then two, that you're uniquely able to make that impact. So you've got to make sure that you develop your skill set, and this is where I find a lot of people fall down, is they've got all the heart in the world, and they really want to help, and they're really prepared to work hard, but the reality is they don't have a skill set yet that lets them be extraordinary in the way that they're actually trying to help. So one-on-one, you can get away with, you know, not necessarily having business acumen, just like being all heart, being there, being present, looking somebody in the eye, making them feel a certain way, and that's tremendous.
Right, but and you can go through your day making that impact, and I've been all about that my whole life, right? You can walk in and you make that impact one person at a time, and I think that's a great way to go. But life brings you to a point where when you have that thing behind you that's going like, there's something else, like there's something else you're supposed to do, and you can't shake that feeling. That's how I got to writing my blog.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah, if that thing is scale, which I think it is for a lot of people, they want to touch more lives, then you've really got to get good at the business side of things. You've got to know how to reach more people. You've got to know how to get your message out there. You've got to know how to galvanize a lot of people that don't know you around an idea and moving forward. And those are skills that you have to acquire and go out and just do the work to really get that, make it a part of yourself. And I think everybody wants it to be natural, right? Oh, I am that way. I am charismatic. But the reality is the world just doesn't work like that. So, you know, learning things like marketing, learning things like how to balance a profit and loss sheet. It's like you'll be what I tell my company all the time is rule number one of impact is you have to be in business. And if you go out of business, then you can't help people. So making sure that you understand that well enough that you can be financially solvent, that you can get a group of people there who are going to want to be paid. You know, even anybody that's going to do it long term, even at a full, just all-out charity, is going to expect money. So now fundraising just becomes your, you know, essentially how you generate revenue. So either way, you've got to get money coming into the company.
How long have you been doing your podcast?
The podcast for 3 years.
3 years. When did you start with your, like, just promoting yourself as a thought leader?
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of on day one. I was really reticent for the first year and a half. And at the time, I was just running a completely separate business that had very little to do with the podcast. The podcast was originally meant for my employees. And it was me trying to do something to help them change the way that they think so that they could approach whatever it was that they were trying to accomplish in life. And then started realizing, okay, if we're going to go to all this effort, we might as well broadcast it and put it up on YouTube or wherever. But about a year and a half ago was when I really went all in.
Okay. Well, it's fantastic.
Thank you very much. It's so good.
And Brian, I went to XPT with Brian. Oh, that's Kerri. Hi.
Not at all.
You're good.
I just want to give love before I
Oh, stand up. It was amazing. It was incredible.
He's wonderful,
Yeah.
right?
Really, really
I
cool.
thought you guys would be very powerful together.
Yeah, so good.
It's the unassuming lions that are my favorite. You know?
Yes.
I thought he's unassuming.
No, and he's so personable.
Oh, did he?
I didn't remember making
He's
my
so good heart.
He's like your son. No, walked in. Like,
Wow, that's,
yeah.
that's beautiful. You're memorable as well. This is incredible. It's so
Are you just like
beautiful.
chills that won't go away?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want people to come.
I dreamt about you last night.
Was I
It
happy?
was fabulous, yeah.
Okay.
And this one too, actually.
How crazy is it? That's our baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
told
don't
you
think
through.
about that.
Yeah. Go get it. Yeah.
Yeah. She is so heartbroken that she wasn't able to
How you
come.
doing? You having fun? Yeah.
How does medical media?
Okay.
So he says he's gifted, and you can look at someone and come see what's up. And I want to make him hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't hurt.
Am I
Let me
didn't?
tell you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I do too. I just heard about my energy healer yesterday. I'm going to put her on a podcast next week. And she's right in her doctor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're wonderful. Yo, Marjorie, come in.
So, our kids went to jiu-jitsu together.
Oh, cool.
And I got just a random text from her out of the blue one day that like life was total all over the place for me, and she just said, I see this and I want you to believe in yourself.
Wow.
And she's been like just a fundamentally solid with everything that's going on in her life. Just she'll reach out just every so often.
That's so cool.
Such an amazing person.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah. And then I listened to her on your podcast. She's what turned me on to you. So
She's amazing.
yeah. So
Amazing.
okay, so last question. Optimism. That's my brand. That's,
It's a good brand.
you know, that's what makes the world go round for me. And I teach my kids about it. I have 4 kids. Youngest one's
Wow.
on the autism spectrum. He has a really hard time with the whole concept of optimism. So even if I only teach it to my kids, you know, that's how I started.
Sure.
But, you know, for you, what does optimism mean?
Well, to me, it's really about deciding to believe that you can make things happen, that you live in a friendly universe, that things are working for you, not against you. And one of my favorite quotes from Einstein is that the most important decision any person will ever make is whether they live in a friendly or a hostile universe. And I thought that's so interesting coming from Einstein, right? Who you would think is sort of the paragon of logic and math, and but his whole thing was we all make decisions.
Right? Yeah.
Definitely. So love that, and yeah, I think that we, you know, get to decide that, to see things as happening for us, to see everything as a possibility, and just choosing to live in that space, to me, is optimism.
Perspective is everything to me.
1000%.
Right? So, well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I so appreciate
Thank you for
this.
saying hi.
Making
It's
my
an
day.
absolute pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
You as well.
Keep listening.